Hello dear student, welcome to my YouTube channel. We are in practical number 8, that is creating invoice table using MS Access. This practical will be lengthy. Whatever the steps I will tell you, because there are some 5 to 6 tables that I will create. So already in the patient information you know how to create a table, but just you have to link that table with each other and you have to create an invoice at the last using a form wizard. So like the video and subscribe the channel for more updates. Now we are on the desktop screen. Just click right and in new you will find MS Access database. See, this MS Access database, it is not available for all the versions. Most of the time you will not find this MS Access. You will find Excel, Word, PPT, but you will not find an Access. So already we have discussed about it. You can purchase it by MS Access database. So click on it and open it. Name this file as and invoice detail. So you can rename it as you want. Blank data sheet. Enable the content, and I will create the data. So there are some as already I have discussed that we required some more tables as an we required in earlier practical it was short one, but in this practical we require more tables for creating an invoice. So the first table, so I will click on table design directly. So the first table it will be an customer details. So customer detail, so the first field will be customer ID. So I will keep this ID as an it will appear as an auto number. It will generate an auto number. After that, name of customer, customer. So I will click on name of customer. So here it will appear name of customer. So it will be a short test. If you require a big test, like see the field size, it is up to 255 words only. If you require, you can if it is a large test, if it is a large name, you can click on a long test also, or you can change from here. After that, I will put customer number. So it's a mobile number. So it will be an number. So I will put a number. See the number. If I click on a number only, then it will belong integer. So there will be a no text that will be accepted. After that, I will put a shop name. So what is the name of shop? Shop name. So the name of shop, it will be an short text. After that, next field is that I want to put it is a license number of an shop. So that will be a number. So I will put a number. After that, I require a mobile number. Already I have put. After that, I will require one more field. Now that is an address. So address detail. It will be a long test, not a short test. After that, I require a zip code. So these are only some fields that I require in my customer ID form. So that will be again a number. Now I will view it. So firstly I have to save it, and it's a name for this. It is customer details. Press OK and press it as. So now here you can see a name of customer that you have to put. After that, customer mobile number. You can drag it for watching the main menu. After that, shop name, license number, address, zip code. So add it like I will show you. So my customer name, it is Vikrant. Customer mobile number 989898. So that is a customer number. I think I have entered some more field. After that, shop name, my shop name it is Pink, license number 12345. So in this way you can add it. My address it is Ahmednagar, and zip code it is 4141. Sorry, it should be 4141 414135. So that is my zip code. So by this way you can add some name of customers that you want. This is how I made 5 entries. You can make some more. Just save it and close it. So once it has been closed, you can also create a form for this purpose. So just click on it and create a form. So the form it will be generated, and see the form it is within same details that we have put in a customer details table. So it first one was customer ID, after that name, mobile number, shop name, license number, address and zip code. So in the record you can see that there are 5 records till yet, and you can add, if you want you can add the records. So for that purpose, now if you click over here it will not open. So in the customer details, click on form view, and from here you can add it. Suppose for I have added Sanjay is my next customer, and his mobile number I will add it 9898989. After that, shop name I will add it. So the shop name it's an medicines 24 shop name. License number it is 12345. Address it is we have selected for address and long test. So you can see the space it is quite big. So address it is Mumbai. So you can type it some more, and zip code it is 9898. So this is how the entry it has been made. Just save it, and the 6th customer it will be saved now. And we will know the form details. I will customer detail form. So I will name it customer detail form. So you can add entries from here. So this is my 6th entry. I can add 7th entry. Instead of going through this table format, you can add simply by this way. Before closing any table, just save it, or it will ask to save. Then just save it. Now see, you can see the 6th entry that I have made. So this is how the first form it has been created. Now we'll go for next tables. Now the next table is that vendor table. So just I will close it and I will create a new. So go in table design directly, and this table it will be a vendor table. So the first field that will come it is vendor ID. So the people who are selling to me, I will write it as a vendor ID. For vendor ID I will select an auto number. Just click on auto number. After that, vendor name. The name next will be so it will be a short test, or you can click on the long test also. So whatever you want. After that, address of vendor. The address. So that will be again a short test or long test as per your requirement. Contact number of vendor. So again that will be, I will click on a number, so it will be a number. So these are some details that I require in case of a vendor form. After that, just click on the view, and you can enter the data by this means also. Just save it firstly, and I will name it as vendor detail. So you can type the data in this format also, or you can make it form. The form of it, just go in a create as we have done. Now click on the vendor, so vendor, and click on the form for that purpose. Now you cannot type for that purpose. Right click and form view, you can type, and once you add vendor name, vendor ID, it is an automatic vendor address and contact numbers of vendor. So there is no entry, so it is showing 1 of 1. You can make some 4-5 entries for it for learning purpose. So there are 4 entries that I have made in the vendor details by using a form. So just I will close it. So you can see there is no entry now in vendor detail. For that purpose you need to close it and again open it. Now you can see there are 4 entries which are in vendor form. Now this table it has been formed. After that, next is product detail that I will create a next table. So product ID, so it should be an auto as you desire. So I will keep it an auto number. After that, next is product name. So product name, so that will be again in short text. After that, vendor ID. So important to understand here vendor ID. So that should come from an vendor table. So for that purpose, lookup. So lookup means we have to look up in a next table. So come in Lookup Wizard and choose the field from another table. So press OK. So here you will find vendor details. In that vendor detail, click on vendor detail and put next. So there are 3 fields that I have for from a vendor detail table. So which one to choose? I can choose that. So here vendor ID. So vendor ID does not make too much sense, but once I know an vendor name, so that will also make an sense, because vendor ID I cannot remember every time vendor ID and vendor name. So that relation cannot be every time I can remember it. So for that purpose, I will select here vendor ID as per. So vendor ID as in an ascending order, or you can also choose vendor name in an ascending order. So whatever you require it. So press on next. See here hide key column. They recommend you to hide key column, but once I enter vendor number, I should know the vendor name also. So both will appear over there, but only vendor ID that will come when you put it. But when you scroll down, you will appear you will have these entries that number 1 it is a Glenmark, number 2 it is Cipla, 3, and we will see later on how it looks. So place a next and again next. Here you make a label. So label it should be similar, or you can make a different, but my recommendation will be make a same label that it should appear. Make this data integrity enable between these 2 tables. So it is recommended to make enable data integrity, and after that finish. So once you finished, so there should be a relation between these 2, and the table it is product detail table. Okay, now so some more information I require, like what is retail price of the product. So retail price, you can choose a data type. I will choose a currency, and after that this wholesale price. So wholesale price, again I will choose a currency. So this is the data of an product ID. So that is sufficient for me. Now you can see once you save it, just save it. After that, what we want to find out? We want to find out the relation between vendor table and this product table. So for that purpose, click on database tool, and here you can find out the relationship. Now you can find out that relationship, that is vendor ID. That vendor ID, it is linked with an product detail table, and you can see that it is only one vendor ID. It is unique, and but product, one vendor can have an infinity of a product, so that is why it comes infinity sign over here. So close this relationship, and now go for if you want, you can view it now in this way and add some product name, vendor ID. After that, price, so it is coming in currency. Again, wholesale price, it is coming in currency. So when I put a name, that is suppose paracetamol, say paracetamol, I will put it. See, there are 4 vendors that will scroll down. Earlier, I have told you that when it has been recommended that you just can show an ID, don't recommend it just to show an ID, because you cannot remember all the time an ID. You can see that table, it is now linked, that first it is Glenmark, second one it is Cipla, third again it is Glenmark, fourth it is an Himalaya. So paracetamol, say suppose it is of an Himalaya, it is of an Cipla. So you can make some more tables with some more entries within same table. So these are some details that I have put about an product detail. So you can add some more entries. Just now go on create, and in that create you can see one more option, that is form. So same form it comes. If you want to add some entries, you can add entries. So this is the first entry, 1 of 5. So next entry it is, third entry it is, fifth, sixth. See, now on clicking on this, there is you cannot add the detail. For that purpose, click on the form view. So go on the form view and you can add it. And vendor ID, you can select from here, like Himalaya, and the product name, it is baby soap, and the retail price, it is up to 10 rupees, and wholesale price, it will be always less. So this is the 6th entry that I have made. In the product details, you cannot see this entry over here, but for that purpose I need to close it. Before closing it, I should save it. And product detail form, I will say product detail form, and you can make an entry from here about your product. So you can see that there is no entry. For that purpose, you need to close it and again open it by double click. Now see that 7th entry, it is of an baby soap, and vendor ID it is 4, and retail price and wholesale price, that will appear as you have entered it. Now we have created this product detail form, and if I go back again to an vendor forms, see, in the vendor form I don't know any vendor what he is selling. For that purpose, what we need to do is that we have to go again in vendor details. See, in the vendor detail tables, so here is only a vendor name and vendor ID, but I don't know which vendor is selling what. So for that purpose, what I have to do, I have to again create a form. So again create a form, and now you can see that in this earlier vendor form, it was showing nothing, but for an vendor ID, suppose it was Glenmark, and it was showing nothing what product it is having. Now you can see that that vendor, it is having what kind of an product, what are the names of product, what is the retail price and wholesale price. So now it has been updated, what vendor is selling which kind of an product with the product ID and retail price and wholesale price. So save this form as I will save it as vendor number 2. So this is a form which I require for further details, and this form I will delete it. So now there is no need of this form. So I will close and I will delete that form. There is now only one form, that is vendor 2 form, which is showing what suppose say one Glenmark, it is having 2 products, salbutamol and baby syrup, and Cipla, it is having paracetamol and orange syrup. So now this form, it has been updated and it is having an interrelation now. Now in the next part, we have to create one more table, that is invoice. So go to create table design, you will have that. So I will write here the field name, that is invoice ID, that will be generated automatically from a data type. So I will auto number it. After that, I need a date of sale. So these are some fields that I will require for generating an invoice. So I will write date and time. After that, I will write customer ID, to whom I have sold it. So I will write here customer ID. So for that purpose, I have to take a customer ID from my customer details table. So go up in a lookup wizard. So once you go in a lookup wizard, so that will ask you from which table you want it. So I will require from a customer detail. So click on next. So I require this keys. One is customer ID and second one is customer name. So press next, and customer ID, I will require customer name in ascending manner. So there is no need of an customer ID, so I will require just a name. After that, they are asking whether to hide the key column or whether to show the customer ID column. If I don't hide it, means if I uncheck it, the thing that will appear, it will be an customer ID all the time. Whenever I will create a form, it will appear a customer ID, and that it will not help in an invoice case. So better way, check it. Only you can see a customer name, so that will make some sense. So enable the data integrity and just now save it. So I will save this invoice table. So press OK for that purpose. Now in the view section, you can see that, see, date of sale, automatically it comes date, and customer ID. For customer ID, I got a screen. You can scroll it below. Now this invoice table, it is ready. I will go for one more invoice. So I will create one more table of invoice detail ID. I will choose here some different fields, and so the next field is for me. But before that, data type, it should be an auto. I have always kept it an auto, so it will an auto number. So I will have invoice ID. Next one, invoice ID. And for this invoice ID, data type, I will look it from another table. For that purpose, I will click on lookup wizard, and that will have a value from another table. So from which table we want, that is invoice table. So click on it, and just I want invoice ID. So I don't require anything other, just I want invoice ID. Press next. So it doesn't matter whether it is ascending, descending. So still I will keep it invoice ID ascending manner. Keep next, and enable this data integrity. And after that, the label for the field, it will be invoice ID only. So I will keep as it is, and you should now click on S for saving it. Now the name of table is invoice details. Earlier it was only an invoice table, now it is an invoice detail. So just I will click on S, and now this table, it has been formed. After that, I require a product ID. So product detail, actually I require product ID. For that purpose, again I will go for a lookup wizard. So once I go to a lookup wizard, it will go in the next table. So in that product table, come on the product table, click next, and I require product ID and product name. I don't require this vendor ID or retail price or something like that. Just I require only two, product ID and product name. So I will keep only an product name in an ascending format, and I will always hide a key, because if I choose to uncheck and hide a key, it will always appear as 1752 like this. So better way, it will be a product name that will appear. So press on next, and the label tag, it will be an product ID. Enable the data integrity and finish it. Now you should save it. I will have one more, that is quantity. So this quantity, it should be a number. It cannot be in text. So just save it and now close it. Once you finish that, come to the database tool. In the database tool, you can see the relationship. So these are the relationships. See, one vendor can have multiple products. So that is why it is having an infinity. One product, it can be in many invoices. So one product, it can be in an infinity of invoices. So these two tables are different, that is invoice details and invoice table. So invoice ID, it is taken from an invoice details. Invoice, from the invoice table we have taken invoice ID. And lastly, a customer. So customer can be one, but he can have multiple invoices. So he can have an infinity of an invoices. So that is why it is showing an infinity sign over here. So it is just for understanding. There is no need to come back and see it again, but it is just for understanding you. Now we'll actually come for an invoice preparation, invoice form. So for that purpose, click on invoice table. Invoice details are different, and invoice table it is different. So come in an invoice table. In the main menu bar, you can see a create. So click on that create and come on form wizard. Not a form, but form wizard. So we can combine some more things like invoice ID from invoice table. After that, date of sale, customer ID. So these are the requirements that we have. After that, we will have some more detail like product ID, quantity that we required. After that, we will also require customer ID. We have taken a customer ID from our customer already from another form. From this table, we have taken everything. Invoice detail we have taken, and invoice ID already it is coming. And from product detail, we have taken a product ID. So that is a product name which will come. And vendor details, so there is no need of an vendor details, that should come. So that is a magic of an this wizard, form wizard, that everything can come in the same. Now there are two more things that I have taken. One is retail price and second one is wholesale price. So press on next. So once you press on next, see in the first bar it will appear invoice ID, date of sale and customer ID, product ID, retail price, wholesale price and quantity. That will come with the sub form. So press next. So once you press next, keep it as a data sheet, or you can keep it as a tabular. So once you press next, next window will happen, that is invoice form, and sub form it will be invoice detail sub form. So just finish it and form will appear in this format. See invoice ID, it will be created automatically. Sale of date, you can see over here, sale of date, say suppose it's on today's date, that is 29. You can grab any customer from it. So suppose say Vikrant has taken, and what product he has taken, so that is ibuprofen he has taken, what is the retail price and what should be the wholesale price, and how much quantity he has taken. So the quantity is 4, suppose. So once I put quantities, say suppose 6 quantities I have put, and I retail price as per the wholesale price as per the wholesale price. So that is to be in total. How I have done it, already I have done this with the help of how I have done it. I will show you. See in the design view, you come scroll down. So once you scroll down, see here I have put a label that is total. And how I have put a label, with the help of this, you can scroll anywhere. See this quantities, you can this part you can scroll anyhow with the help of a cursor. So this is how can I have scrolled it. So same way you have to scroll it. See from this box, once you type text box, so here you will appear two things. So one is what is the title that has to be given, and second one is it is unbound. It comes unbound box. So suppose I will show you. See, these are the two boxes that will come and appear over here. Now what I have to do, click on this box and put a total. So I will put a name. I will put sub total, and in unbound box. So if you don't see this, click over here on this property sheet. Once you click on this property sheet, here are some format, data, event, and others. So on the data, what you do, don't press this. So don't just press retail price. So what is the source of it? I have done as per wholesale price. The retail price, you can scroll it and click on this where it is having three dots. So in this three dots, see the expression categories are this. So expression category, for first expression category, that is quantity. So just click on the quantities and remove this everything stuff. Okay. After that quantities, press shift and 8. Shift and 8 means star. It has been multiplied. After that, what you need to do is that what it should be multiplied. So I will multiply it with a retail price. So double click on it, it will come, and press OK for it. So that it will take. Now what you do, you close it, save it, and then close it. Now I will close this. See, again I will come to this invoice table. Now you can see that this is the customer, that is Vikrant. He has taken ibuprofen soap, and the third product he want is that suppose orange syrup he want. Price detail, it will come automatically. Wholesale price, it will come automatically. And whatever the commands we have given, just we need to put an quantity. Suppose I put a quantity 2. See here the total, it is because in earlier I have done without this video, I have multiplied this total part, that is wholesale price plus quantity, and in the next part I have shown that wholesale price, see the retail price, it was 20, and quantity I have taken 2, automatically it comes 40 for you. So there can be, we can also make a subtotal column below. So at least you do this. Now for a print, we require all this in one table. In just one page, we should have all this quantity subtotals. Now press click on this and export it to PDF or XPS, whatever you want. And just I will publish it on a desktop, and once it has been published, you have to take a print, and that print you should put in your manual with after by checking of your stuff. So this is how the PDF it will look. On the date of sale, customer ID, and what I have taken. So this you can print it and keep it for your record. So thank you for watching a video. If you are having any doubt, you can comment me in the comment box section. So thank you.